For hundreds of thousands of years, humanity existed as nomadic hunter-gatherers, living at the mercy of nature. Then, in an anomaly that has puzzled historians and archaeologists alike, civilization seemed to erupt spontaneously around 8000 BC. From Mesopotamia and Egypt to the Yucatan, China, and Peru, complex systems of agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, and monumental architecture appeared fully formed. Was this a sudden collective leap in human cognitive evolution? Or was the blueprint of civilization inherited from an older, forgotten epoch? Across the globe, indigenous traditions recount a strikingly similar narrative. Around 11,000 years ago, a catastrophic global flood wiped out most of humanity and submerged the homelands of a highly advanced race. The geological record aligns with these ancient warnings. Around 10,800 BC, a fragmented meteor impact triggered the Younger Dryas cooling period, the Third Ice Age, and unleashed a cataclysmic global flood. The homelands of the gods, advanced maritime cultures situated on primeval islands in the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean, were swallowed by the rising tides. In the Pacific, the folklore of Easter Island's early inhabitants speaks of the Urukeu, the Starwalkers. Long before the deluge, these navigators traveled across the ocean. When the tides of chaos destroyed their homeland, the Urukeu survived the titanic waves and eventually established sacred academies in New Zealand, the birthplace of the gods. Described as tall, fair-skinned, and red-haired, they were master stonemasons. At their sacred sites, monolithic calendar stones align perfectly with the rising of the Southern Cross and the Belt of Orion, pinpointing the era of 10,800 to 10,400 BC, the precise timeline of the Younger Dryas catastrophe. Across the ocean in the Bolivian Altiplano lies the ancient temple city of Tiwanaku. Indigenous people recount that after the Great Flood, a god-man named Viracocha arrived with 7 sages known as the Shining Ones. They were tall, bearded, red-haired, and possessed elongated skulls. Astonishingly, the exact same narrative is etched into the walls of the Temple of Horus at Edfu in Egypt. The Edfu Building Texts describe a group of gods called the Aku Shemsu Hor, the Shining Ones, Followers of Horus, who arrived after a catastrophe sank their primeval island. Both groups were master astronomers and megalithic builders, memorializing the era of 10,400 BC in stone. The fingerprint of these antediluvian navigators stretches even further. In the Yucatan, Maya traditions speak of the Itzá, sorcerer architects who arrived from a drowned eastern homeland. Led by bearded leaders, they were known as the Canal, the people of the Serpent. This title did not refer to literal reptiles, but to their mastery over the electromagnetic forces of the earth. The people of the Serpent appear globally. In Japan, China, India, and Polynesia, they were known as the Naga. Everywhere they went, they brought megalithic architecture, astronomy, and civilization. The convergence of these global myths points to a central hub in Upper Mesopotamia, Göbekli Tepe. Dating back to nearly 10,000 BC, this artificial mountain of monolithic pillars predates the accepted timeline of civilization by millennia. Its original Armenian name, Portasar, translates to the Umbilical Cord of Osiris. Mesopotamian traditions speak of the Anunnaki, antediluvian gods who possessed shining skin and profound knowledge of nature's mechanics. They were accompanied by the Apkallu, 7 sages or watchers, who served as helpers of humanity. When we weave these disparate threads together, a breathtaking picture emerges. The Urukeu of the Pacific, the Shining Ones of the Andes and Egypt, the Canal of the Maya, the Naga of India, and the Anunnaki of Mesopotamia are not isolated myths. They are fragmented memories of a single, highly advanced maritime civilization. Displaced by cataclysm, they navigated the rearranged globe. They did not conquer, they taught. They left behind an architectural and astronomical legacy that served as an umbilical cord, connecting the shattered remnants of humanity to the wisdom of a forgotten age. The sudden explosion of human civilization in 8000 BC was not an anomaly. It was a resurrection.